Good morning from Chessington World of Adventures here in the UK. We're going to explore this park for the first time. Normally there are actually 5 roller coasters here, but today we're only going to check out 3 of them because Scorpion Express is not open and the Rattlesnake is also not open today. So unfortunately only 3 roller coasters today, but we're going to check out which one is the best and which one is the worst, and also see how these coasters here rank compared to all the other ones we already did in the UK. So let's explore Chessington World of Adventures. During a 2-week trip I finally got to explore the biggest parks and roller coasters in the UK, and in this series I'm focusing on one thing: what is the UK's best roller coaster? In today's episode we're checking out the coasters at Chessington World of Adventures. And we have entered Chessington World of Adventure. Are we excited, Matthias? Very excited, apparently. Anyway, let's get to the first roller coaster right away. It's hopefully not going to be too busy today. The past few days it was not busy at all, apparently, according to some crowd calendars. Today it doesn't seem to be very crowded either, so hopefully the lines will be okay-ish. Anyway, we're going to the first roller coaster of the day. Alright, first ride we're doing here is in the World of Jumanji. Here we have Mandrill Mayhem, which is a wing coaster from B&M. Same as, for example, look at this. Same as, for example, the Swarm which we did in Thor Park, but this is more like a family-friendly kids version. It's also going forward and backwards, so it's kind of a boomerang kind of layout. Anyway, let's check out the Mandrill Mayhem here in the World of Jumanji at Chessington World of Adventures. So, Mandrill Mayhem done. It's a pretty short and pretty forceless ride actually. It's the least interesting wing coaster I did so far. It's definitely a family ride, not a very thrilling ride. It's just very tame. Also pretty rattly. Maybe it's because it's going very slowly through the layout, but it's kind of rattly actually. It's not the smoothest B&M coaster in my opinion. So at this moment, not my favorite wing coaster. Let's see at the end of the video where I'm ranking this one compared to all the other coasters in this park. But for now, let's go to something better, hopefully. Next coaster we're doing is this one here. Dragon's Fury, which is a Maurer spinning coaster. Luckily we were able to do this one because at Alton Towers, for example, Spinball Wizard was closed, which was really sad because I really love Maurer spinning coasters. This is apparently a pretty good one. We'll have to see, but I'm really excited for this one. So let's check out Dragon's Fury. Alright, Dragon's Fury. Really fun spinning coaster. A lot more fun than, for example, Naga Bay and Bobby Island in my opinion. Although I have to admit, I still think Tarantula in Parque de Atracciones in Madrid and also now you see me high roller in Motion Gate are a little bit more fun in my opinion, a little bit more forceful, but this one was really great also. It has a fun layout, it has a pretty long layout also, and especially at the last part of the layout there's quite some spinning actually, but it's not the best Marvel spinning coaster, but it's just a really fun one. Really enjoyed this one. So at this moment actually enjoyed this one more than Mandrill Mayhem. So yeah, and then to end our ranking here, the final roller coaster of today, which is going to be Vampire. It's a suspended coaster from Vekoma, same ride type as for example Dreamcatcher in Bobbejaanland, but hopefully a bit better than Dreamcatcher, because in my opinion Dreamcatcher is kind of boring, not really forceful, so I'm really hoping this one will be a lot better. So let's find the entrance of a Vampire and do that one. Okay, and that was our last coaster of the day, Vampire here, the suspended coaster from Vekoma. It's a fun layout, it's a fun coaster, not very forceful. I expected a little bit more maybe, but it's still enjoyable. It has two lift hills by the way, which is also pretty fun. It has pretty long layout, a lot of swinging through the woods. The station is also beautifully themed. The layout through the woods is just really cool to see, a lot better than for example Dreamcatcher. So in my opinion maybe a little bit better than Dreamcatcher, but I want to also do it in the back maybe, because in the front it was not really that forceful. Maybe in the back it's better, but let's see. And after a few more re-rides on Mandrill Mayhem here behind me, and of course a Vampire also, I do admit that my opinion has kind of changed actually. We did a Mandrill Mayhem also in the backward seats at the back of the train, but also a little more, not really the back row, but a little more in the back, in the front seat, facing seats. I do admit those two times I enjoyed the ride a lot more than the first ride actually. Maybe because of the seat position, because I was seated in the seats inward, not the out, not the seats on the outside of the wing. I had a feeling that those seats had a little bit less of a rattle, so I enjoyed the ride a lot more. It's also fun when you're sitting at the back to have this spike here on the first row. You don't really feel that spike that much. It was a lot more fun actually in my opinion, so I'm kind of changing my opinion. I think in the end Mandrill Mayhem is a little bit more fun than Vampire actually, but nothing can beat in my opinion the number one here in this park, which is still the spinning coaster Dragon's Fury. So final ranking for today: at number 1 Dragon's Fury, at number 2 Mandrill Mayhem here behind me, and at number 3 we have a Vampire. But now, how do these coasters compare to all the rest of the coasters we already did in the UK? Well, the number 1 from this park, Dragon's Fury, is in my opinion on spot number 18 at this moment. Not really that high, but yeah, the coasters here are not really very thrilling or very spectacular. They're just a lot of fun, but nothing can beat rides like, for example, Stealth, Hyperia and such. So clearly not in the top 10, but spot 18 for the number one coaster here, Dragon's Fury, and the other ones a bit lower than that. But anyway, still enjoyable coasters here in this park. So those are the coasters here in Chessington World of Adventure. In the next video we're going to visit Bolton's Park, but that's of course for another video. See ya!